or in the next.
Or in the next.
Purport by His Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Instead of being inimical toward other living entities, one should not act piously. One should act piously by engaging in the service of the Supreme Lord. Thus, avoiding a fearful situation both in this life and in the next. In this regard, the following moral instruction by the great politician Chanakya Pandita is very meaningful. Tyaja durjana samsargam. Tyaja durjana samsargam. Bhaja sadhu samagamam. Kuru punyam ahoratram. Smara nityam anityam. One should give up company of devils, demons and non-devotees, and should always associate with devotees and saintly persons. One should always act piously, thinking that this life is temporary and not be attached to temporary happiness and distress. The Krishna consciousness movement is teaching all of human society this principle of becoming Krishna consciousness and thus solving the problems of life forever. Tyaktva deham punarjanmaneti mameti so Arjuna. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurinmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Dalasadvani Prachara-niratayate Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna-pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-vedanta Swami-niti namine Namaste Saraswati-deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha-sunyavadi Pachyatya-deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Guru Maharaj Srila Sripad ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. तस्मा न कस्यचित् द्रोहम् आचरेत् स तथा विदः आत्मनः क्षेमम् अन्विच्छन् द्रोद्गुर्वै परतो भयम्. Therefore, since envious, impious activities cause a body in which one suffers in the next life, why should one act impiously? Considering one's welfare, one should not envy anyone, for an envious person must always fear harm from his enemies, either in this life or in the next. It's a very nice sloka, that one should not envy anyone. So, this is spoken by Vasudev to Kamsa, who is ready to kill his sister because her child would harm him. So he became envious. Droham. Become hostile. So droha has a couple of meanings. One is becoming hostile. Another is cheating or treachery. causing harm, malice intention. So the root cause of this hostility is the fear. Fear of losing something. And what do we fear? Dhanam janam sundarim kavitam. We fear losing dhanam, money. We have money, that we have fear that somebody will take our money. Janam. We have our family members. We may get away, we may get separated from them. Or we are making some followers and somebody may take away. And spouse, somebody may take away or I may lose. And ultimately the kavitam. Kavitam means the honor, not normal honor. This is the prestige, distinguished position that comes from many things, that one is glorified. Kavita means glorification. That somebody else becomes prominent, then I may not be regarded as great. I may not be glorified as the best, great. So, because of these fears, whoever one thinks, those cause of those fears, one becomes hostile. So one resorts to hostility, malice practice, and cheating or treachery. So this attachment or the affinity or nature of oneself being deriving happiness from these sources, right? If you see core of our existence, our actions are driven by our desire to be happy. That is fundamental nature of our existence. We all want to be happy. But the only difference is that in what activities we derive happiness, in what consciousness we derive happiness. This makes one a demon or divine, demoniac or divine. So there are people who take pleasure in giving to others, and there are people who take pleasure in taking from others. So that is the two categories of people. So if we root ourselves in deriving happiness by giving, that is the nature of divinity, divine. That is the nature of the residents of the spiritual world. And the very fact that we are here in this world is that our happiness is rooted in taking. We take Dhanam, we take Janam, we take Sundari or Sundara, Kavitam, or praise, regards, glorification, our glorification. So therefore we act in that way, in that direction. Now that we have become devotee, it is not that all of a sudden they go away. Right? We started chanting 16 rounds, stopped following four regulative principles. So it is like we switched off the fan when we're chanting Hare Krishna and following four regulative principles. We stopped on grass platform. The fan, we stopped the fan. So for the fan to come to stillness, it takes some time. But in spiritual life, it is not only the gross, it is only the subtle or mental platform. What are we doing with our mind? Outside we have stopped. Inside what we are thinking, what we are aspiring. Because in the four regulative principles, it is not there not to aspire position, not to aspire different things still. So therefore, there are some things on the mental platform. What we are desiring, how we are taking pleasure. So we are on the journey daily by this Bhagavatam study. We try to refresh our consciousness, our mind, and desire the right thing. So on the gross platform, the fan will come to complete rest only when on the mental platform also the fan comes to standstill. We stop the fan on mental platform also. It is like two-way switch. One is gross, another is subtle for our consciousness, for our engagement. So on gross platform we follow four regulative principles. For on the mental platform we chant Hare Krishna mantra, which delivers. But for the mantra, Hare Krishna mantra to deliver, we should also desire such things. To attain such state of mind where we take pleasure in the divine things, not in the material things. Then we will truly get happiness. We chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So by chanting Hare Krishna, we are supposed to be happy. But so many things bother us. Because we have not tuned our mind. We have not tuned the mind to receive the mercy from the Mahamantra. Mahamantra is none but the Lord Sri Krishna. Krishna himself. So we should be little cautious in observing our mind's demands. Mind's demands are our demands only. My mind is not something different from us. Mind only the expression of our desire. It moves according to that. So, if we tune our mind, we will be in the divine realm. If we don't tune our mind, we will be in the demonic realm. Or somewhere in between, moving margin between demonic and divine, moving this side and that side, keep moving, like pendulum. So this is very important, and the enviousness is what we droha. This droha is actually, originally it is there for the Lord, disobedience and enviousness. It may be surprising that we may think, oh, who envies God? But if you carefully observe, sometimes it comes out. There are people who are atheistic, they are anyway more clear. But those who seemingly appear to be religious, spiritual, so this enviousness generally we have for the other people around us. But how do we understand that there is enviousness to God, Krishna? You see, it comes out when we desire something strongly and we don't get it. Then we get angry or upset or blame Krishna. Or some people get upset also, give up whatever religious practice they are doing. So we can see little more often that when a close family member dies untimely, or even the time comes sometimes, because for us the time never comes. For us death is always untimely, because nobody prepares for death for oneself or for his close people. So when a close person dies, that time one gets very angry or upset with God. Why God is doing like this? This you will find very easily. Or some child is born and soon leave the body after some time, or in the very childhood. So these things create these are the times when this thing comes out. But actually in this, God has nothing to do. God is only sanctions. Because this world is this world is nothing but interactions of all the living entities. So therefore, things that happen in one's life are due to these interactions with other living entities that create karma. Karma is created only in relation to the other living entities. Actions pertaining to the other living entities. Because in everything we do, there are living entities involved, other living entities. So therefore, accordingly, one's duration of life, everything is decided. So one becomes envious of God or becomes angry with God. So, but we forget that the very relation because of which we are angry with God, angry with Krishna, it is only Krishna who gave that person to us in the first place. Right? We have our parents, we have our brother, sister, we have our whatever relations. Who decided that particular parents will be our parents, particular persons will be our parents? Who decided that particular persons are our siblings, relatives? So we forget, we forget Krishna's glory. We forget Krishna's mercy, what he is giving us. What by his arrangement we are getting it. By his own arrangement we also live. We also lose. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. Dhruvam janma mritasya chaha. As soon as one takes birth, one is sure to die. As soon as we get something, we are sure to lose it. Anything material. Only thing that remains with us is our consciousness. Everything else we lose. We lose our body, we lose our close relations, we lose our money, we lose our buildings, whatever center we make, everything we lose. Yeah, I say even the center, which is supposed to be a spiritual thing, losing means if you own it, you lose it. Actually, center doesn't belong to us. So therefore, we should not own it in the mind. Oh, this is my center. If you own it, then you will definitely lose it. Everything, whatever we own it, in this world we lose it. So therefore, we should not own anything. Center belongs to Krishna, center belongs to Guru. I'm caretaker. Whenever Guru Krishna wants, they can change the caretaker. So therefore, we should always be ready. So whatever we own, we are trying to own so many things also in the name of spirituality. We should not own anything. Just like the ignorant people work with attachment, persons in knowledge should work without attachment. So without attachment means not owning anything. Ishyavasyam idam sarvam. Everything belongs to Krishna. We forget this. Forgetting Krishna, we, fallen souls, paying most heavy illusions toll. So by forgetting Krishna, we are owning everything. We are owning buildings, we are owning people, we are earning so many things, forgetting that they actually belong to Krishna. As soon as we own something, we are destined to lose that. And that will make us unhappy. Therefore, this consciousness is very important to keep in our mind, consciousness that these things don't belong to me. These things don't belong to me. So similarly, there are people who worship God as long as they get some nice position. But as soon as there is little danger, to the position, they get hostile to people, not only people, also to God, also to Krishna. They give up Krishna's worship. They become disobedient, or they become revolt. They revolt even Krishna. I have seen this. We can see this. Even we will revolt against Krishna. If Krishna takes away something very dear to us, then we will also revolt in our calm against Krishna. So that is called Baddha Jiva. Baddha Jiva means one who revolts even against Krishna. So that is the nature here in this world, and that's what we are trying to purify. It's a very great task. So it's everything pertaining to the consciousness. So whatever we do outside is only to purify this attitude inside. But if we, instead of developing this consciousness, if we start owning everything, then we are only adding fuel to the fire. So this droha increases, This droha, another meaning is treachery. We cheat everybody. Why? Durase bahiraddhamaya. Being greed of the external things, we cheat everybody. We cheat our parents, we cheat friends, we cheat relatives. One cheats wife cheats husband cheats wife. Cheat God brothers, cheat even Guru, cheat even Krishna. And revolt also against all of them. As long as my desires are fulfilled, I am very nice. As long as my desire is not fulfilled, immediately become revolt. So this is a material consciousness. This actually originally, this revolting is there in the original revolt is to Krishna. Baddha Jiva. So therefore the same thing manifests with other people also. If we can revolt against Krishna, then what about other people is very. Whom will we spare? We will not spare anybody. We will not spare anybody. We will revolt against everybody. If we don't spare Krishna for revolting, whom will we spare? We will not spare anything, anybody. So therefore, this devotional service, sadhana, is very, very tough. Also very, very easy. If one try to give up this revolting attitude towards Krishna, towards other sadhus, guru, God brothers, relatives, parents, others, revolting, all the time revolting. So we take so many unfair means, unpleasant means, and that destroys our consciousness, and that prepares our next life, next body. Until we give up this revolt attitude, we have to take body. So, but if one internally tolerates as a service to Krishna, as a matter of service to Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna, then that becomes one's nature. So that is called Krishna consciousness. And only Krishna consciousness remains. Everything else we lose. We have to remember always. And only a fool will invest in something which one is going to lose. So we should be intelligent in not investing something that we lose and not own it. Don't try to own something that belongs to Krishna. So we do introspection, observe our mind when we become revolt, or when we do cheating, both are similar. One revolts openly, one silently does one's things. So droha is two types. One is revolting, another is treachery. Treachery means cheating. Betrayal. Another word is betrayal. Right? When there is droha, when there is this revolting tendency, droha manifests in two ways. One is revolting, another is betrayal. We betray the faith that was kept in us for the sake of money, for the sake of followers, for the sake of beautiful women or men, and for the sake of our glorification. We do treachery, we do betrayal, we betray. This happens also in devotee community. What to speak about outsiders, those who are not practicing. Devotion means trying to overcome this revolting attitude. So if it is happening in the community of devotees means we are practicing devotees, trying to be devotees. We are not yet become devotees. So that is another confusion we should have. We should remove from our mind. We are not devotees yet. We are trying to be a devotee. So we assume we have become devotees, so therefore we try to start owning, start claiming so many things, and we revolt, cheat, betray. This is very, very important. Try to steal something that belongs to others. So this is the consciousness of the demons. And whoever comes on the way, we will not spare. Just like here, Kamsa is killing his own sister, betraying the trust. He is escorting her. He's supposed to save her, But he betrayed the trust of his sister, of his brother-in-law, that he would protect. This is the droha. Droha is, it becomes betrayal. That one has given something, some position that he will protect or support, but in the meantime what happens? One develops one's own goals, one's own things. In the beginning we are very, very simple, But once we settle that, now I have become devotee now. I have become a senior, I have become devotee. Now these things start. So you give them we give them something, so therefore, they start betraying. Therefore, sadhus, what they do, they give. They give freedom also to betray. So that is when the sadhu knows who is what. Right? So, when we are given some responsibility or we are given something to take care, we should be very, very careful that once we become the protector or once we become the in charge, then we have the freedom to betray. That time we should not betray. If you betray, that is a proof to Guru and Krishna that now this person is not yet ready to return to the spiritual realm. So droha, we should be very careful of droha. Being hostile, being malice practice, and also betrayal. So these things establish that we are not yet ready for divinity, but we are posing as divine, as a devotee, as a preacher, as a teacher, as a, so many things. As a Siksha Guru, as a Diksha Guru, as a Sannyasi, whatever, as a director, president, chairman, manager, so many things we have. So, should be very, very careful with the betrayal, revolting attitude. Betrayal is also kind of revolt, but it is a silent revolt. You just look for the time. So, one should find happiness in divinity, in doing sacrifice. Yajna Sankirtana prayer. So how do we overcome it? By sacrificing these things, by sacrificing our desire for money, desire for buildings, desire for followers, desire for women, men, desire for glorification. How do we do that? By sacrificing them for Krishna's glorification. That is a sadhana. That is a real sadhana. What is real sadhana? Is to sacrifice these things for Krishna's glorification. That is called Yajna Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Sumedasha. Sankirtana Yajna means, of course, we go into the street, that is all Sankirtana Yajna. Sacrifice. We sacrifice some time. But the real sacrifice is sacrifice of our desire for glorification, desire for followers, desire for buildings, desire for positions, desire for name frame, for glorification of Krishna. That is the true Sankirtana Yajna. If we do that Sankirtana Yajna, it will be immediately liberated. Immediately liberated. So the question is, would we like to do that? That is the introspection we have to do. You want that or not? Would you like to do that sacrifice? Would you like to do that yajna? Or we do the superficial sacrifice of just sacrificing the time, but using the very Sankirtana for our glorification. So this is the worst thing that could happen. right? We should sacrifice our glorification for the sake of Krishna's glorification. But if we use Krishna's glorification as a means to our glorification, that is the worst thing. So that is a quite opposite of the Sankirtana Yajna. Sankirtana Yajna means you sacrifice our glorification for the sake of glorification of Guru and Krishna. That is called Sumedasha. Yajna Sankirtana Yajanti Sumedasha. That is how we worship Krishna. Krishna worship is not rotating the Arati plate. Real worship is this sacrifice of one's desire for glorification and everything else for the glorification of Krishna. That is a true Sankirtana Yajna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So if you have any questions, you can take a couple of questions.
Thank you, Maharaj, for the class. Yeah, any devotees have any question, please come forward.
Will.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
महाराज दंडवत प्रणाम।
दंडवत प्रणाम।
तो मेरा एक छोटा प्रश्न है। कंस ने इतना शक्तिशाली है क्योंकि माँ के केस को भी पकड़ लिया। दूसरी तरफ से देखा जाए वसुदेव के 14 पत्नी है। इतना बड़ा भय को, इतना बड़ा विपरीत अवस्था में फिर उन्होंने देवकी को सुरक्षा देने के लिए इतना बड़ा प्रीचिंग करना इतना दूर जो है ये उचित है अनुचित है, इसके ऊपर थोड़ा आप व्याख्या कीजिए।
उचित है, one should protect. Vasudev is doing his job as a husband. He should protect. He is doing this to protect her. And Kamsa is doing opposite. As a brother, he was supposed to protect, but he is doing the opposite. So Vasudev is doing his duty as a husband to protect wife.
तो उनका भय से उनका पत्नियां लोग सब अलग अलग हो गए। अभी हमारा वसुदेव के पास कितना पेशेंस है, कितना धैर्य है। तो ये सब कैसे हो पा रहा है, उसका पीछे कुछ दैवी गुण ऐसा क्योंकि इसके ऊपर कुछ वर्णन कर सकते हैं क्या?
वही है सेम कि जब हमारा चेतना दूसरे को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए हो जाता है, वो डिवाइन हो जाता है ना। वसुदेव का कॉन्शियसनेस डिवाइन है, तो इसलिए उनका पत्नी को बचाने के लिए कोशिश कर रहा है, है ना। तो जब हमारा चेतना दूसरे को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए हो जाती है तो ऑटोमेटिक ऐसे व्यवहार करते हैं। लेकिन जब हम दूसरे को द्रोह करके, बिट्रेयल करके हम अपने आप को प्रोटेक्ट करना चाहता है तो वो ऑपोजिट हो जाते हैं। दैट्स व्हाट कंसा इज डूइंग। कंसा क्या कर रहा है? वो बेट्रे कर रहा है, बेट्रे करके अपने आप को बचाने के लिए कोशिश कर रहा है ना। वही चीज हम भी कर रहा है, आप लोग देखेंगे तो वही चीज हम भी कर रहा है, वो डिफरेंट लेवल में कर रहा है। हमारा बचाने के लिए दूसरे को हम द्रोह दे रहा है डिफरेंट लेवल में। कोई अपना पोजीशन बचाने के लिए, कोई अपना फॉलोअर बचाने के लिए या फॉलोअर बनाने के लिए या पोजीशन लेने के लिए, इवन इन डिवोटी कम्युनिटी ना। राइट। तो वो चेतना को ठीक करना होगा। तो वासुदेव का जो चेतना अच्छा है ना, इसलिए भगवान उनका बेटा बन के आया, है ना। तो वो लोग भगवान को बेटा जैसे चाहते हैं ना, तो मतलब उनका एनवियस नहीं है भगवान के ऊपर। भगवान को सुख देने के लिए वो लोग अपने कितना कितना ये किए थे, कितना तपस्या किए थे, है ना।
हाँ,
भगवान को अपना बेटे बनाने के लिए कितना तपस्या किए वो लोग। सो भगवान को आनंद देने के लिए अपना आनंद छोड़ना, यही है कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस, और कुछ नहीं। और कंस जो है भगवान को अपने दुख के लिए भगवान को छोड़ने के लिए तैयार है, भगवान के ऊपर रिवोल्ट करने के लिए तैयार है। तो फिर भगवान को रिवोल्ट करेगा तो बहन क्या है, भाई क्या है, माँ क्या है, बेटा क्या है ना। तो सेम, जब भगवान को धोखा देने के लिए तैयार है तो और लोग क्या बड़ी बात है धोखा देना, या गुरु भाई हो या गुरु हो या जो भी हो, साधु हो संत हो, धोखा देने में क्या तकलीफ है, कोई तकलीफ नहीं। हरे कृष्ण। ऋतिक प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण महाराज, धन्यवाद।
हाँ बोलिए।
Yes, Maharaj. Like my question is like where we are actually struck in the Tanam Janam Sundaram Kirtan, like how to understand and like how to resolve one by one.
Yeah, like we said in this class, take the recording and hear again.
Okay.
कौन है? हाँ बोलिए प्रभु जी।
There is a question in the chat. Under Pranam Maharaj, how do we become a satisfaction? How do we become satisfied? Something like that.
सेटिस्फेक्शन हमको मेहनत करना है, और जिसके बाद जो भी मिला हमको वो भगवान ने खुद हमारे लिए सोच के हमारे ऊपर प्रेम से वो दिया है करके सोच के उसी से संतुष्टि होना है ना। हमारा एफर्ट देना है हमको। इसके बाद जो मिलता है इससे हम खुशी होना चाहिए, भगवान ने मेरे को ये दिया है। जैसे हमारा माँ जो है हमारे लिए कुछ कुछ प्रिपेयर करके हमको खाना बनाते हैं ना। तो जब हम खाना खाएंगे तो हम केवल खाना को नहीं देखना है, जो हमारे लिए खाना बनाई है हमारे माँ, उनको भी देखना है, उनका प्रेम को देखना है। जब हम दोनों देखेंगे तब हम संतुष्टि से, आनंद से खाएंगे जो प्रसाद बनाए। अगर हमारे मन केवल प्रसाद के ऊपर है, हमारा क्या पसंद है और क्या बना हुआ है और हमारा पसंद से बना हुआ है नहीं, अगर हमारा चेतना उसी में है तो असंतुष्ट रहेंगे। लेकिन हम हमारे माँ को भी देखेंगे कि माँ ने हमारे ऊपर प्रेम से बनाए हैं इतना कष्ट से, और जो भी खाना खाएंगे तो हमारा काम तो बन जाएगा, आनंद तो मिलेगा। जब तक भूख है तो आनंद ऑटोमेटिक मिलेगा, और इसमें सबसे श्रेष्ठ प्रसाद चाहिए, यही प्रॉब्लम है। तो अगर हमारा दृष्टि केवल प्रसाद के ऊपर ही है, अगर हमारा दृष्टि जो हमारे लिए बनाया है और जो भगवान ये सब स्थिति हमको दिया है जहां हम प्रसाद खा पा रहा है, ले पा रहा है, अगर ये सब अगर हम भूल जाएंगे तो असंतुष्ट रहेंगे। ऐसे ही हमारा जिंदगी में जो मिलता है, अगर हम खाली उसी को देखेंगे ना तो असंतुष्ट रहेंगे। लेकिन अगर हम जब भगवान को देखेंगे कि भगवान ने मेरा साइड से मैंने अफोर्ड किया, इसके बाद भगवान ने मेरे लिए ये दिया है प्रेम से, है ना, तो जब याद रहेंगे तो संतुष्टि आएगा। अगर हम भगवान को भूल जाएंगे तो असंतुष्टि रहेंगे। तो हम कोशिश करेंगे, जब भगवान को भूल जाएंगे क्या देखेंगे, इस दुनिया में जितना लोग है, कौन कौन इसमें compete कर रहा है, कौन क्या कर रहा है नहीं कर रहा है, किसके वजह से मेरे को नहीं मिला, तो उसके ऊपर गुस्सा, फिर रिवोल्ट, द्रोहा, ऑल दिस थिंग्स सब आएगा। इसलिए हमको भगवान को नहीं भूलना है, भगवान को नहीं भूलना। इसलिए भगवत गीता में भगवान क्या बोलते हैं, यादृच्छ लाभा संतुष्टो द्वंद्वातीतो विमत्सरः समः सिद्धाव सिद्धौ च कृत्वापि न निबध्यते। तो यादृच्छ मीन्स बाय द ब्लेसिंग्स ऑफ द लॉर्ड, हमको मेहनत करने के बाद भगवान का कृपा से हमको जो मिलता है उसी लाभ से संतुष्टि होना है। अगर इसी से संतुष्ट नहीं होगा तो आदमी जिंदगी में कभी संतुष्ट नहीं होगा, किसी से संतुष्ट नहीं होगा। जो मिला उसमें संतुष्टि नहीं है तो जो भी मिलने से संतुष्टि नहीं रहेगा, क्योंकि उसके बाद भी और कुछ मांगेंगे और कुछ मांगेंगे। तो ये दोष जो है ना, जो मिल रहा है उसमें नहीं है, लेकिन जिसको मिल रहा है ना उसमें है वो दोष। लेकिन जिसको मिल रहा है वो नहीं सोचता है कि दोष उनमें है। तो यादृच्छ लाभा संतुष्टा, दिस इज द भगवान की कृपा से जो मिला है उसी से संतुष्टि होना है। भगवान को याद करके, भगवान को प्रेम से दिया है हमको जो भी दिया है ना, क्योंकि सबको श्रेष्ठ चीज एक ही होता है, मतलब जो हमको मिला वही हमारे लिए श्रेष्ठ है। लेकिन हमारे मन में क्या है, हमारा सब टॉप पोस्ट में रहता है। हमारा कोई टॉप पोस्ट में है, हम कैसे टॉप पोस्ट में जाना है, कोई गुरु बन गए, हमको कैसे गुरु बनना है, कोई डायरेक्टर बन गए, कैसे डायरेक्टर बनना है, कोई फॉलोअर बना रहे, हम कैसे फॉलोअर बनाएंगे, कोई पैसा कमा रहा है इतना इतना, हम भी उतना कैसे कमा रहे। तो हम छीनने के लिए कोशिश करते तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है। तो इसलिए हमको जो पैसा भगवान ने दिया, हमको जो फॉलोअर दिया, हमको जो भी दिया, इसी से संतुष्टि होना है। तो ये जो है ना, ये अंदर का बात है। अगर ये चीज नहीं सीखेंगे तो कभी भी संतुष्ट नहीं होगा। यादृच्छ लाभ संतुष्टो। हरे कृष्ण।
No question.
Okay, thank you very much for all your attention. जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद, जय गुरु महाराज श्रील श्रीपाद की
जय।
जय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल।
हरि हरि बोल।
थैंक यू। हरे कृष्ण।
थैंक यू महाराज। His Holiness Bhakti स्वरूप बृहस्पति महाराज की जय। थैंक यू ऑल द डिवोटीज, सीनियर वैष्णव महाराज। हरे कृष्ण। दंड प्रणाम।